What's up, YouTube? It's your licensed master stylist, M. Williams. I'm doing something a little bit different today. So today, I'm trying to actually do my channel. And excuse me, I'm off today and been out running errands. And so if I look a mess, but wanted to come here and make this video. Doing something a little bit different this time. And the name of this video is going to be called How to Find a Great Hairstylist. How to Find a Great Hairstylist. And just fixing my wig here for you guys. But how to find a great hairstylist. How? So my channel, I want to make my channel where it is about education, wisdom, knowledge, all that great stuff, and where it can help you learn about the hair industry. If you're a lay person and you're out here learning about hair, or you're trying to find out about hair, or you're out here learning about the hair industry, or you're trying to find a great hairstylist. I've been in the hair industry since 1981, which is the year that I graduated from cosmetology school. And I'm an old head hairstylist. And just trying to give some wisdom out here. Today, I'm making this video from my home. So it's something totally different. But I want my page to be different. I also want to put hair out here, tutorials out here, information out here, education out here, wisdom and knowledge. So the reason I wanted to do this topic on how to find a great hairstylist is because, not just talking about me, I consider myself a great hairstylist, of course, but I can't service everybody. I can't take every client. And I'm sure that some people watching my YouTube channel, they may not even live here in Atlanta or in the northern suburbs of Atlanta. They may not live out this way. So I'm going to cover it in a few topics. I don't want to call it the top 10. I don't want to call it the top anything. I just want to go through this list that I have made to try to help you guys as lay people find a great hairstylist. And the reason I came up with this idea is because I get a lot of new clients who come with, actually, in all honesty, they come to me with anxiety or PTSD because they've had very bad experiences with other hairstylists. Now, the whole goal of this is wisdom, knowledge, education, and information. It's not about trying to throw any hairstylist under the bus. It's not about trying to defame any hairstylist. It's not about trying to do anything in a negative way to anybody in the service industry. That's not my goal. That's not my aspiration. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm trying to educate lay people who are not hairstylists, who are looking for a hairstylist, and who have found it a challenge. Because actually, like I said, whenever I get new clients, they tell me about all these bad experiences that they've had. And I'm not saying that all hairstylists are bad or all hairstylists are unprofessional, or all braiders, or this and that, or nobody can be on time. I just felt like the need was there to help because my heart and my desire is to help, and that's what my channel is all about. And anything I do is about trying to help people on my channel. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So let's start with number one. The first thing, when you're trying to find a great hairstylist, the first thing is experience. You have to be the one that determine what type of experience you're looking for. So the first thing is experience. You have to decide if you want someone who just came out of cosmetology school. Do you want someone that's been doing this a long time? Do you want somebody who only has 5 years of experience in the hair industry? Or do you want an old head stylist like me who has 30 plus years in the industry? You have to first determine what level of experience you're looking for. To me, that's a great place to start. That's a great starting point because that's going to help you trim down a list, because you're going to be looking for whatever. Say, for example, if you determine that you want somebody with 10 years of experience or more, then when you go to somebody's website or someone's Instagram or someone's social media and you see they only have 3 years or 5 years or anything under the 10 years that you said or determined that you want, then you would not even consider them because you have already determined that you want someone with at least 10 years of experience, 10 or more years at least. So you have to be the one that determines the experience that you're looking for. That will help you, first of all. That's a great starting place, as I mentioned. So if you're a person who you wear crochets, you wear braids, you wear weaves, sew-ins, extensions, you have to determine, okay, is that all I wear, or is that all I want the person to be experienced in? This is number two. After you've determined the level and years of experience, now do you want them to specialize in it? Do you want them to specialize in the service that you're trying to book for? For the example I gave, like extensions? Or do you want it to be a person that's more well-rounded so that when you take the extensions out, the person will know, okay, now that I have the extensions out, they have the experience with doing your natural hair or your relaxed hair or whatever it is that you have currently. So that's a number two thing that you have to determine. Are you looking for someone that just specializes in a certain type of service? Or do you want someone who's well-rounded, pretty much meaning they do it all? You have to determine that. And that's pretty easy to determine because a lot of times when you look at stylists' social media pages or their website will pretty much determine, it will tell you a little bit more about the person normally if they have a website. And to me, if you're in the hair industry and you've been in the industry for a while, if the stylist has, then he or she will definitely have a website, because a website is the first impression of what you will get with this hairstylist, your potential hairstylist. The website will tell you a bit more about them than what Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or any of them can tell you. Because of most of the social media pages, they only allow like a small space for you to put a bio. So like I said, most hairstylists who are serious about the industry and been in the industry for a while, They will have a website which will go into greater details about their services, what they're experienced in, if they have specialties, if they are well-rounded, you know, how many years they've been doing it, and we'll have more pictures and such like. So do you want a newbie or somebody well-rounded? Okay, master stylist or master barber. What's the difference? What's the difference between a master cosmetologist and a master barber? What's the difference in those two? Well, there is some difference. Master cosmetologist is pretty much well-rounded. I'm a master cosmetologist. I'm licensed in Georgia, in the state of Georgia. Master cosmetologist, we can do hair, skin, and nails. And when I say hair, all aspects of hair, like color, relaxers, weaves, extensions, braids if we want to. We can also do skin and nails as well. Now, a master barber, they can do all of those things I named except for skin and nails. Master barbers, some females are master barbers. A master barber is someone who can do, they have spent more time in school, in barbering school, they spent more time on cutting, whether it be just shear cutting, meaning with scissors, or clipper cutting with clippers. They spend a lot more time on that than, you know, the other services such as roller sets, pressing, you know, and the other variables, the other services. They spend more time on learning cutting. So they can also do color, cutting, relaxers. They can do all that, but they spend a little less time in those areas and they spend more time in the cutting. But they cannot do skin and nails. And some master barbers may be female, but they may not even want to service men or do clipper cuts. They just may only want to service women with cuts, color, and stuff like that. But again, in school, in barbering school, they don't spend as much time on color and some of the other services as they do on cutting, whether it be with shears, scissors, razors, or clippers. They spend more time on that. So there's two different licensures. You have to determine which one you prefer, a master cosmetologist or a master barber. And some females are master barbers. So you have to determine which you prefer. Licensed or not licensed. You also have to determine that as well. Do you want a stylist or service provider who is licensed, whether it be your hairstylist, whether it be your barber, or whether it be your braider? Different states are different. Some states do not require braiders to have a license. I'm in the state of Georgia, so I'm going to speak for the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, the State Board of Cosmetology does not, again, they do not require a braider to have a license. Now, what's my feedback on that? My feedback on that is, although they are not required by the State Board of Cosmetology to have a license, that does not mean that you will not require them to have a license. That does not mean that you will not require them to have a license. Again, you are the person you're making the decisions. You're going down this list that I'm giving you, and you're making the decision. Do you want your service provider to have a license or not? Because the state of Georgia do not require a braider to have a license. Is that okay with you? Would you prefer them to have a license? And what's the difference? if a person is licensed and if they are not licensed. What's the difference? A huge difference is when you are licensed, and I briefly touched on this in my YouTube video called Braiding and Vlogging. I said a little bit about it in that video. But basically, when you're licensed, you're accountable to somebody. You're accountable. You're held accountable to somebody. You're held accountable to somebody other than yourself. You're held accountable to somebody other than yourself. That's basically what it means. You're held accountable to somebody other than you. Meaning the hairstylist, the barber, the braider. The hairstylist, the barber, the braider. Now, again, you are the determining factor in choosing your service provider. I'm not the determining factor. You are. I'm just giving you the wisdom to help you make a decision. That's all I'm doing. Giving you wisdom. You have to be the one to make the decision. Now, just because you see someone working in a salon or in a salon suite or any of that, that does not mean they have a license. Don't just assume that because someone is working in a salon suite or they're working in a hair salon, whether it's a storefront salon or no matter what kind of salon, don't just assume that they have a license. Because like my old pastor told me, assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. When you assume, you really don't know. You really don't know. So if going down this list that I'm giving you, if you decide that you do prefer that your service provider be licensed, then don't assume that everybody that you see working in a storefront salon, working in a salon suite, or working in any type of building and they're doing hair, beauty supply, whatever, don't just assume that they have a license. If you have determined in your own mind that you want them to have a license, then don't assume that they have one. Do not assume. You cannot assume because a lot of people do not have licenses at all. So now, what's the difference and what's the big deal about having a license or not? Like, why would you care if someone has a license or not? Like, what does it mean for you as a client? Basically, in a nutshell, it means, again, that it makes you accountable. It makes you accountable to another entity and to someone else other than yourself. The State Board of Cosmetology, any of us who have licenses, we are definitely held accountable to the State Board of Cosmetology. Meaning that they can come in anytime and do an inspection. They can come in, you don't know it, unbeknownst to you, you won't know it. They just walk in, they're going to check your license, they're going to check your salon license. If you're owning a salon or you're in a suite, they're going to check that. They're going to do an inspection. They're going to check your shampoo bowl, make sure it's clean. They're going to check all your implements, means your clips, your hair brushes, your clippers, your shears. They're going to check all of the stuff, your trash, all of this stuff to make sure that you're keeping stuff clean and sanitized. If something is not clean or sanitized, you will be fined on the spot right then. You will be fined. And that's what makes us be accountable. as licensed service providers. If you are not licensed, if the person that you choose does not have a license, and again, that's your prerogative, it's your choice. If you choose someone who is not licensed and then you're okay with them not being licensed, then they're not held accountable to anybody other than themselves. So do they even know how to keep combs, brushes, and other implements that are used from person to person? Do they know how to keep them sanitary and keep them safe? And is anybody ever going to walk in wherever they work in a home or, wherever they work? Who's going to keep them accountable? Who? If they have no license, then how is the State Board of Cosmetology going to know that they even exist and that they're even out here doing hair? Like, they won't know. There's no way they will know. So you have to be the one that determines whether or not you want the person to be licensed or not licensed. You may be already going to someone who's not licensed and you may feel good and safe and protected. You may trust this person. But at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong, then you have no recourse at all, because they're not under the umbrella of the State Board of Cosmetology. And that's not me trying to bash any braider. That's not me trying to throw anybody under the bus. That's me giving you wisdom. And that's what I do on this channel. I've been in this industry a long time. I owned a hair salon, storefront, had commission stylists, a lot of commission stylists, open 13 years. So I feel like I've pretty much earned my due to be able to put this information out here. And I feel like the information needs to be out here. So again, that's your call. If you prefer someone who is not licensed, that's on you. That's your choice to make. That's your choice to make. But you have no recourse if something goes wrong, because they're not under an umbrella where they're made to comply with anybody other than themselves. So how do you determine if somebody is licensed or not? How do you determine if your service provider has a license or if they do not have a license? To be honest, a lot of time, most hairstylists who are licensed, such as myself, we usually have it indicated on our social media because we're trying to set ourselves apart from everybody else, especially in Georgia, because Georgia doesn't require licenses for certain services. So I think most of the licensed hairstylists are trying to make sure they put it out here to let people know that they are licensed. So that's one way that you might find out. Another way is you can ask. If you have already, as I go down this list, if you have already determined that you prefer that your service provider have a license, then ask them. You can ask him or her if they are licensed. You can ask. Just ask. That's a second way. And then a third way, once you go into their place of business, then the state of Georgia, I don't know about other states, but the state of Georgia require you to display the license. You have to have it on display, meaning it has to be sitting on your station, hanging on the wall, or it has to be somewhere that the client can see it. So if you don't feel comfortable asking them or anything like that when you go to them, which I don't understand how you would not feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, if you're vetting hairstylists, VETTING, if you're vetting hairstylists, researching stylists, and trying to determine who you want your next new hairstylist to be, then if you're doing that, then it's okay for you to ask them if they're licensed, because at the end of the day, they don't know you, you don't know them, and you're trying to decide if you want to go to them or not. Right? So what's the problem? Like, what's wrong with you asking? There's nothing wrong. But that is only if you have determined as you work your way down my list that you prefer that your service provider have a license. If you don't care if they don't have a license, then you don't have to do any of this I'm saying. Okay, online booking now. I've been using online booking for many years, over 10 years. I was using it way before most hairstylists was using it, but now a lot of hairstylists use online booking. So, now that that's the case, that a lot of hairstylists use online booking, if you find someone and they have an online booking site, does that mean they're licensed? Absolutely not. Again, I explained to you that assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. When you assume, you don't actually know. So there are a lot of hairstylists and braiders that are on the online booking sites. They have an online booking site where you go online, you click and you book online. But they are not licensed. The online booking sites, like the main ones, are like Style Seat, Agaro, Acuity, Schedulicity, some of those, Mind and Body, Square, they have one as well, Square Scheduling. Don't assume that because you have found a service provider on any of those that they are licensed. That's not the case. Don't assume. Because anybody can go online with Vagaro, with Schedulicity, with Mind and Body, with any of those online booking sites. Anybody can go on there and set up an online booking, site. Anyone. They don't check your license. They don't even ask you if you're licensed. So it's become very commonplace now, which I just found this out myself from clients. Like a lot of stuff I hear and that I'm discussing now on this channel, on this video, is from other customers who are looking for hairstylists and looking for professional service providers. I'm hearing it from them. Like, I'm not out here searching online for online booking sites for somebody to do my hair. I'm not out here searching. So I'm finding out about this from new clients that come to me. So again, don't assume that because you go to an online booking site and you find a service provider, do not assume that they're a licensed, because most of them are not. That's why you have to do your due diligence. You have to vet, and you have to do your due diligence, and you have to research. It's like if you was looking for a gynecologist or a dentist or a doctor, you would do what? You would do your due diligence and you would do your research. Or you would ask around and say, oh, you would ask your friends and family members, do you know a dentist? I'm looking for a new dentist or doctor or gynecologist. You do the same thing with a hairstylist or a braider or anything. You determine if, you ask around and see, if they're known to be on time or late. If they are someone who will just cancel an appointment that you already have with them. I get a lot of calls where clients are calling me saying that, trying to book with me because they went to another stylist. They've already had an appointment with a stylist booked, and the stylist will cancel them. As opposed to the client canceling the appointment, the stylist will cancel the appointment. I hear that all the time. And people will call me and say, oh, I had an appointment today at such and such time. My stylist canceled. Can I come to you? And 9 times out of 10, I can't even take them. My heart goes out to them, but that goes back to the doing your research, doing your due diligence, vetting. You must do that because a lot of people don't even trust hairstylists anymore. They have anxiety when they come to you. You get new clients, and I've been, I told you how long I've been in the industry, and people come to me and they have anxiety because they've been through a lot just trying to find a hairstylist. And they tell me. So I know that this video is needed. I hope it is helpful. I hope that you will like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and my channel is going to be all about love, all about information, all about support, all about giving knowledge and wisdom. That's all it's about. It's not about hate or, throwing people under the bus or anything like this. It's about trying to give wisdom. So don't assume that when you see that somebody has an online booking site that they're licensed. No ma'am, no sir. If you have determined as we go down this list that you want your service provider to have a license, then you have to make sure that they have one. You gotta ask them. And then when you ask them if he or she says yes, then when you go in for your first service, you should see that hanging up on display somewhere, the license. If you do not, then ask them to show it to you. If they have a problem with that, then you have to make a decision. Okay, I don't want to go to this person, or I'm okay with it. You have to make the decision. But the State Board of Georgia for cosmetology, they require all of us licensed professionals, we have to have it on display. Because if they come in and do an inspection and it's not on display, if it's not hanging or somewhere visible for the customer to see, that's an instant automatic $500 fine. Yes, you heard me, $500 fine. And the reason it's a $500 fine is because if you had a license, you would have it on display. You would be proud to be licensed. You would be proud to be set apart from everybody else. And you would be proud that all that hard work you're doing, you passed the State Board of Cosmetology exam, you would not have your license hidden in your purse or at home. You would have it on display. So if it's not on display, it's a $500 fine. So who do you know that would have a license and then not have it on display? Like, who would do that and risk having to pay $500? Nobody. So if they have a license, it's going to be visible. Now, suppose as we're going down this list, you have determined and already decided that you don't mind if your stylist is not licensed, because all you get from this person is braids, and you don't mind that they don't have a license. Again, that's your prerogative. It's your decision to make. So do you have any recourse if something happens and you're not satisfied, or something like you get some scalp disorder and you feel like you got it from the person you went to, or you feel like, they not keeping stuff sanitary when you go there, whether they braid out of their home or whether they braid in a salon or whatever the case may be, and they don't have a license. Do you have recourse? No, you do not have recourse. That is a negatory. No, ma'am. No. No, sir, no. And the reason you don't have recourse because you have decided that you do not want a licensed professional. You have decided that it does not matter to you whether they are licensed or not. as I'm going down this list, you have made the decision that you don't mind that they not have a license. And again, it's your prerogative. I'm just here to tell you the difference and the different circumstances, the different occurrences that can happen, and just give as much wisdom as I can so that you can be an educated consumer. Like, I prefer that people, even when people call me and they tell me, oh, I want you to do my color, oh, I want you to do my cut, oh, I want you to do my extensions, oh, I want you to do my tape ends, oh, I want you to do my curly perm, oh, I want you to do my braids. And I do all of that stuff I just named. But at the end of the day, even though I know my work looks nice, and even though I know they've researched me and they called me for an appointment, I'm still humble enough to the fact that I'm going to want to send the client, I'm going to text them pictures of my work. I'm not going to just be like, oh yeah, girl, I'm all that and 200 bags of chip. Oh, I'm the best in the ATL. I'm the best over here in Atlanta. I'm the best. I'm doing the most. No. I'm going to show and I'm going to prove. So when anybody calls me, and they ask to book with me for whatever service, some of the services I just named, I'm gonna send them pictures of my work because I want them to see my work. And I want to confirm and show them that whatever you saw online, the pictures, this is my work because I'm about to send you my work. So I always send them pictures of my work. That way they can confirm that, oh yeah, I like her work, da da da. Oh yeah, I want a book. That's me being accountable. That's me operating in integrity and being professional. That's what I do. And if they decide, oh, okay, this ain't what I want, this ain't, thank you, I'm gonna look somewhere else. I don't have no hard feelings, or there's no hard feelings, because again, just like I'm telling you right now, it's about you. It's your choice to make at the end of the day. Who will, service you. Licensed, unlicensed, in a salon, working at home. That's for you to determine by doing your due diligence and vetting and researching the hair service provider. And again, as far as the recourse, you don't really have any recourse. And the reason why, if somebody is not licensed, then you can't call the State Board of Cosmetology and be trying to make a complaint, or trying to call them to tell them about Susie or Jane Doe, Susie Doe, Jane Doe. I'm just making up a name. Nobody I know. Jane Doe. You can't call the State Board and say Jane Doe did my braids. I'm not happy with the work. Her place was not clean. I don't even think she's sanitary. You cannot do that, because when they research and they look up that Jane Doe in their database of licensed professional, they're not even going to see that name there. So you won't even have any kind of recourse. So no, you won't have recourse at all. You would have to take it up with that person, and no recourse. And like I was saying earlier, different states are different. So I'm in Atlanta. You could be in Tennessee, or you could be in Boston, Massachusetts, or you could be in Philadelphia, or you could be in Wisconsin. Wherever you are, all states' licensing boards are different. So just like the state of Georgia does not require braiders to have a license in the state of Georgia. But you go one state down to Florida, and they do require braiders to have a license. And if you ask me, I think anybody on anybody's head should require a license. Because you can spread, just like we've learned from this coronavirus that's been around here over 2 years now, you can spread things from, using combs and utensils, brushes, combs and other implements that we use while we're doing hair. I mean, you can spread stuff from place to place, or person to person, whether. And some people have scalp disorders and other stuff going on, um, and you can spread it. If you haven't gone to cosmetology school and you don't know how to properly sanitize and disinfect combs, brushes, towels, the station, the chairs. If you don't know how to do any of that, like if you have not been trained to do it. So then you can also look at pictures of people's work. You can always ask to see pictures of their work, and you're not gonna really know if it's actually their work or not. But 9 times out of 10, people will have pictures of their work, and you can ask to see that. That will help you make a determination as well. Online reviews like Yelp, Google, and all of these other places, Facebook, anywhere where people can leave reviews. You always want to take those with a grain of salt, because sometimes people are not comfortable. Um, it just depends on the hairstyles. Like sometimes people are just not comfortable telling a person that they're not satisfied with something. Sometimes that could be the case. And in those cases, somebody will go online and write their complaint online, as opposed to telling you that they don't like something when they're standing right there after the service. Like a customer can say to the stylist or the braider at that time when they're there before they walk out the door, hey, Jane Doe, I don't like how you braided my hair, or I don't like this or that. That's the best time to say something, is when you're standing right there. You still there. You can tell your service provider that you don't like it, or that it's something about it you don't like, and then they may say, well, can you come back tomorrow, or they may offer to fix it then to your satisfaction. But I feel like anyone deserves that opportunity. So if you see something and then you walk out and you say you like it, you tell your service provider that you like it, and you tip the service provider and you leave, then the service provider is going to feel like you're very happy and satisfied with the service. But then if you go online and write a bad review, then the service provider is going to be confused and bewildered. So I personally feel like if there's something wrong with the service, or you're not satisfied in some way, the best time to communicate it is right then. If you see your dissatisfaction at that moment, just let them know that there's something that you don't like about the service, or something you don't like about the braids, or whatever. And then they may be able to fix it right then, or they may have a client right after you, and then they may ask you, can you come another day? But try to get it rectified right then. Or if not, like some people put reviews online, and like again, some people don't feel comfortable communicating in person, so they feel more comfortable doing it online. So you have to kind of weigh that, with the reviews that you read online. I feel like, again, some customers may feel more comfortable not telling, a service provider. It just depends on the person. So with that, you have to kind of determine, because again, you're the determining factor. You're the person who's going down this whole list that I'm giving you, and you're making the decision to whether or not you should call this person, you should book with this person, you want this person to be licensed or not, you want this person to be working in a salon or a suite and not out their house. You are the determining factor. It's all about you. Because when you go and get a service, especially your hair, like I tell people, God only give us one head of hair. So you should be really particular about who you go to, because everybody's not into hair care. Some people don't have the patience to deal with hair care. Some people don't know enough themselves about hair care. So how can they help you with hair care? I mean, it's a lot of different hairstylists out here with a lot of different levels of experience, wisdom, and knowledge. And then, like I was saying earlier, a lot of times I get new clients who have a lot of anxiety about trying, like they've had very bad experiences with other hairstylists, so they feel like the same thing is going to happen when they come to me. They feel like the same thing is going to happen. And how does that make me feel? It first of all lets me know that they've had bad experiences with other stylists, and that's the reason I'm making this video. I could be upstairs laying in my bed watching TV or watching a movie or watching YouTube, but I'm on here making a video because I have so many new clients that call me and they actually have stress and anxiety about finding a new stylist. And then, you know, when it comes to getting your hair done, that should be a very relaxing, you know, like a woo-saw moment. It should not be anything that's stressful. So finding a new hairstylist is like, where do you start? Where do you start? You start with all of this information that I just gave you. And you can apply this video to a nail tech, an esthetician, or dentist, a doctor, and whomever else, gynecologist. And then you also have to know, even with the licenses and even with, you know, the years of experience and even with everything else, the know-how and being well-rounded, even with all of that, people are going to have their own personality. Like people's personality is going to go into what they do. People's work acumen, whether someone is professional or not, whether they're always late or on time, you know. Like me, I feel like if I have a client at 10, you can best believe I'm there by 9 or 9:15 because I'm very structured. I'm very type A, and I don't like rushing because once time is gone, time is gone. There's no way to recoup or recover time. And I don't feel like my clients they're supposed to beat me there. Or if they have a 10 o'clock, I'm getting there at 9:55 or something like that. That's not me. And, you know, I get a lot of people call me and they say, you know, the stylist is never on time, you know, all of this. And so this is the service industry. It's an appointment-based industry. So to be successful in this industry, you definitely have to be somebody who's a morning person, who's an on-time person. You're always on time. You're not late. Your client's not waiting on you. And so how to find a great hairstylist, you know, you just go down this list. And again, it can apply to anything else. Esthetician, massage therapist, dentist. You can apply the same list to any type of service provider. Any type. And so again, this is just to give you more information and help you find a great service provider and a great hairstylist. I want you to be able to find a great service provider, great hairstylist, and be able to relax when you get your hair done. Like when you have an appointment, you actually have one. If you have a 10 o'clock appointment, 10 o'clock, it's actually at 10. When you get there at 10, the stylist is there. I want you to have a relaxing opportunity because we all deserve it and we all need it. And so my YouTube channel with me having so much wisdom because of all the years in the industry, then I plan on putting my wisdom out there. I didn't get and gain all this wisdom just to hold it inside of my heart and just to keep it for myself. It's for you. It is absolutely for you. So, you know what to do now. Just listen to this video, share it, like it, subscribe. If you have anything, any ideas or suggestions that I put, or you need any advice for me to put on this channel, please comment, or please, email me or get on my Instagram and send me a DM. I'm more than happy to share whatever wisdom I know on it. But it's up to you whether you have a stylist who just came into the hair industry, whether your stylist have 5 years experience, 10 years, or 30 plus like me, whether your hairstylist only does crochets and braids, or whether they're well-rounded like me. Not saying that you have to come to me, but this is just giving you information so that you can choose your service provider. You can have some wisdom on it, and that there will be no gray areas or areas that you're not aware of, like when it comes to the licenses and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people, like now, I'm hearing that there's a lot of unlicensed people working in salon suites, which I'm shocked about that. I thought all salon suites required you to have a license, but I'm finding out that a lot of them don't. I'm finding out that a lot of them don't. Like if you do braiding or just weaving or something like that, I'm hearing that they don't. Again, this motive is not, this video is not with a motive to throw any service providers or hairstylists under the bus. This is just to give wisdom. Because I have always felt like that the consumer should be an educated consumer. That you should be an educated consumer. That you should not be out here spending money unaware about situations and circumstances, or unaware about who you're going to patronize. And again, this whole list that I just gave you, it's up to you as to who you decide to go to. That's your choice. But make a choice. Write down a list. Go through your list. Do your due diligence. Do your research. Vet. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do any of these things, you're going to end up with a lot of anxiety, a lot of disappointment, a lot of anger, a lot of distrust, a lot of stress. You're going to feel like you spent money somewhere that you shouldn't. Because how do I know? Because those are the clients who call me when they've had bad experiences. And this is the reason that I'm making a video. This video right here. So again, I hope it helped. Please like, comment, subscribe, and make suggestions to me about videos or whatever you would like to see on this channel. If I have the wisdom about it, whether you a salon suite owner, a salon owner in a commercial property storefront like I had for 13 years, or whether you're trying to determine, how to set up your business model, whether it be commission, booth rental, or both. I have wisdom on all of this stuff. I'm willing to share it. If there's anything you want to hear, again, I won't know what you guys want to hear unless you comment, like, subscribe, and you send suggestions. You hit me up on Instagram, or you email me, or you comment, making comments about what you'd like to hear. This video is about to go into a 1 hour, so don't want it to do that. So hope you've enjoyed. Again, comment, please like, because when you like my videos, that helps the algorithms to go up, and that helps more people be aware of my videos. And I think YouTube would recommend my videos more if you like them. If you have some interactions with my videos on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear. Thanks so much. God bless you and your family. Please stay safe, and I hope this has helped you out tremendously. Thank you.